Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr, what do all these quarterbacks have in common? Other than being prime examples for why some quarterbacks should be forced to wear Guardian caps, they cannot play in the cold. Yes, I did just use the quarterbacks as example to give that distasteless joke, but really it's the entirety of these teams struggling in cold weather games. Dolphins are prime subject numero uno, putting up similar yards in cold weather games as the January temperature outside that they're playing in. The long-term effect of sipping mojitos by the beach isn't just cholesterol issues and skin cancer, but also turning into no-shows during playoff time. It makes me wonder if Tyreek Hill is acquiring as many children as he has, so he can huddle them around him penguin style mid-game to warm himself up. If cold weather teams play better in the playoffs, then great. Just more reason to hate on Tom Brady for all his rings. Guess we can add Coldgate to the list of other gates he's associated with, and since Coldgate sounds like the toothbrush brand and the stadium is called Gillette Stadium, I think this case is closed. While it is pretty obvious that Miami has struggled with cold weather games over the last few seasons, I'd say it's more specifically the Miami Dolphins team themselves and more about their lack of toughness rather than just a general sense for warm versus cold level teams. In a study done by The Athletic, they found that over the past 20 years, when dome/warm teams have traveled to a playoff game with a temperature below 32 degrees, they are 11-13-1 against the spread. When the temperature is 25 degrees or below, they are 5-7-1 against the spread. While these numbers are positive for our cold climate teams, it isn't really a nail in the coffin to verify this idea. While cold weather may be a villain to Miami, there's a new villain roaming the streets of Gotham, which may as well be a synonym for Jacksonville these days. Yes, I'm of course referring to Aziz Al-Shaer, who recently wrote out a long-form apology in his Notes app after his iffy hit on Trevor Lawrence, which he then promptly revoked so he could do a Joker cosplay on Twitter to show that we really do live in a society. It seems to me the main point Aziz is making is that he had no intent to harm or severely injure the quarterback in an illegal way, yet is receiving unprovoked hate from NFL fan bases. The most unfortunate storyline of this whole event that took place is that Aziz has reportedly been showing up to Jaguars meeting in full Heath Ledger Joker costume, asking people if they, quote, want to see a magic trick.
How about a magic trick?
Jokes aside, I'm hoping for a strong recovery from Trevor, as well as hate being directed to Al-Shaer to end, mainly because he doesn't deserve it, but also because my stomach hurts from laughing so much after seeing a professional athlete unironically use this photo on social media. While we are on the topic of villains, let's discuss the main villains of the NFL as it currently stands, the Kansas City Swifts. The only thing that could be more annoying than having a celebrity shoved down your throat while trying to watch a football game is watching other grown men complain about having to see a pretty girl from time to time on a live broadcast. Now, back to the people that our dear Taylor Swift have made famous, the Kansas City Chiefs have been keeping games close to the neck all year this season. I haven't seen this many close calls since watching Jerry Jones subtly avoid using the N-word during live pressers.
You don't have to be smart to make money. You can be very talented.
Even if you're not saying it, Jerry, we know you're thinking it. After narrowly escaping the Panthers and Raiders, it's become very clear and apparent that the Chiefs are only 1% better than whoever they are playing that week. Unless your name is Josh Allen, of course, in which case you can just rumble your way to a win with a fourth down conversion using that inflatable Johnny Depp looking body of his. Now, I know I'm not one to talk especially about another athlete's body, but this guy gets to be Josh Allen and marry Haley Steinfeld. No, not having it. Not on my watch. Not without a touch of spite and envy. Now, I started this video talking about cold weather teams and their ability to have a leg up when it comes playoff time. While that idea was inconclusive, there's no denying that if the Bills get a home field game, forcing the away opponent to run inside zone against 6 inches of snow is a real obstacle.
Almost slip and slide.
And I know what you're thinking. The Bills have the same issues in that case, but what most people don't realize is that snow is a genuine fuel source for the good and kind people of Buffalo. Every inch of snow in Buffalo is equivalent to 1 Percocet for Aaron Rodgers in terms of increasing their overall aura. Maybe this is the art form that was lost for Aaron and the Jets this season. He simply isn't popping enough pills to succeed. I don't think he's the only older quarterback with this issue because Kirko Thuggins has been playing like modern day Dan Marino in those PepsiCo commercials. After Kirktober ended, it seemed like we immediately moved into November. The Falcons had a lot of high hopes for the season. They had all their sticks in a bundle and tied the last loose end they needed by ensuring they wouldn't have quarterback issues at all. They did this by signing Kirk Cousins and drafting Michael Penix, but instead they found themselves in a tough spot. See, they don't want to let the Kirk signing look stupid by benching him in his first season, but they also don't want to look stupid with the Michael Penix pick by not starting him at all over a peg-legged pirate. I have a really simple solution for the Falcons to fix all their problem. Just sign Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson to fully guaranteed contracts this year and let them fight it out. Screw it. Throw Deshaun in the mix too. This is what teams do when they suck. You sign as many old and borderline not human quarterbacks as you can to give your NFL fan base some hope, just to pull the rug out from under them like Hawk Tua coin. Seriously though, I'm curious as to what point the NFL will realize that the quarterback position is becoming extremely overrated. Yes, it is an incredibly important position, don't get me wrong, but when teams are choosing to sign Daniel Jones to multi-year contracts after proving virtually nothing over a guy like Saquon Barkley that may be the most talented athlete this sport has seen in about a decade, I think there's a real problem with the value metrics in this system. Running backs have gotten the shortest end of the stick over the last few years. The league has realized that it's pretty easy to find a solid to good running back literally anywhere, but I think this season has proved that it's just as difficult as any position to find an elite running back, a game changer. If you have an elite player at basically any position, you should pay them like an elite player to stay on your roster. If you have an average or bad player at quarterback, it's incredibly idiotic to pay them like they are elite just because it's a premium position. TLDR, warm climate teams don't struggle, the Dolphins are just soft. Aziz Al-Shaer wants to run the Gotham Underground crime ring. The Chiefs both suck and are Super Bowl contenders simultaneously, and we need to stop worshiping the quarterback position because QBs are nothing without a good coach and a supporting cast.